Well, before we get to the Mark Slaughter, we got about 15 minutes.
Yes.
So what happened last week? You had a show, which I monitored the first, 15, 20 minutes of the show just to see how it sounded last week.
Right.
And it was sounding good, and I was looking forward to listening to the replay, and bang, there's no replay.
Yeah, of course not, because I tested it for hours ahead of time, and everything worked fine. And then once I recorded it for real, nothing. Just flatlined. I got a 6-hour blank fucking file.
Nice.
I was so fucking mad because while I will admit it was not one of the best shows that I've ever done, the end part was pretty funny. And there was some decent parts in the middle, but the ending, the Go Girl thing at the end was fucking hysterical.
Right.
And that would have been one good segment.
Okay.
I don't know that there would have been many more. There was a lot of kind of too dull, boring, talky segments. And Tom called in. He was pretty funny.
Right.
As he always is.
Sure.
But yeah, the rest of it, not so bad that it was, lost. Not so upset.
So give me the long and the short of the show, since I didn't really get to hear it, aside from just kind of checking in on the audio. What your co-hosts just weren't with it, or they didn't play off of you too well, or you just don't like to lead the show, or what?
I hate to lead. I really don't like leading the show at all. I get too fucking goofed up with the equipment. So this time I tried something different, which was I set it all up, and then, since you got me this boom mic with this big long extension,
yeah,
I pulled the extension all the way as far as I could, and then turned away from the equipment, because I always, you've been here when I host or when I'm running the equipment, I have to face away from everybody.
Yeah, because your setup is toward the wall.
It's in a corner. So this time I didn't want to do that, so I turned it around and was facing everybody. Well, then I wasn't paying any attention to anything. I wasn't paying attention to the chat room, to the sound, to the phone calls, to nothing.
Right.
So I missed a lot of that stuff. And, AJ was good. He jumped right in and, had plenty to say. We talked. I don't know. It ain't me and you. It never feels right. Maybe it was good. I don't know. But, I don't know. I thought some of the stuff went on a little too long where you would have reined it in and fucking chopped it in half.
Right.
We were talking about dating crazy fucking nurses, since we both have those stories.
Okay.
And we were telling those stories, but man, that seemed like it went on forever and ever and ever. And, and then it was like, it did go on forever and ever. It was like an hour and 40 minutes. I was like, phew, that's a lot of nurse talk.
Well, Val said she wasn't happy with the stream either. She said it kept cutting out.
There's something with this fucking laptop. Now, it's weird because you don't get any problems when I talk to you.
No.
But when I stream, for whatever reason, it won't fucking work. I'm going to have to buy another computer, I think, just for the show.
Right.
Because literally, I tried it with my other laptop, and it was giving me static.
Sure.
Nothing but static. Then I switched back to this one, and then it made the stream fucked up.
Right.
So, whatever. It was just me and my friends hanging out. That's what it turned into.
Sure. Well, I purchased a couple of Optiplex 755s, some Dells.
Yeah, sure.
I bought those for the studio this year. Mm-hmm. And they have 8 gig of RAM.
Sure.
And 1 terabyte of hard drive, and they're a 3.1 gigahertz processor.
Yeah, and they're what, a few $100?
No, they're not even that much. They were like 100. I think I paid like $120.
Want to sell one?
Well, I was thinking, since you're talking about having a separate machine for the show,
yeah,
I just might get you one.
All right. Well, hey,
because they're cheap enough and they're plentiful, because all they are is coming off a lease after a year.
Sure.
So they're only a year old.
Yeah. And dude, that would be great, because literally I don't use this laptop for anything else.
Yeah. It's
just for Skype in the chat room.
Right.
And that's all I do with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
And have a dedicated machine. because this one sure ain't working.
Yeah, it's a powerful box, and it's the one that I use for the webcam when we've done the T-Radio V show.
Okay.
And it's the one that I run your Skype on in the chat room with.
Oh, so it works fine.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's got buku power.
That works. That's all we need.
Yeah. So I was excuse me, I was just bent on getting a very good machine, but for under $150 each.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Well worth it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well worth it, because these some of these distributors out there are selling these in lots,
Right.
and they're willing to part them out for $150, and they come equipped with Windows 7.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Yeah, so that's what I went and bought.
Yeah, can't beat that.
Kicks ass. So, well, I'll look into getting you one. Have one sent to your house this week.
Awesome. Not that I'll be here, but
well, regardless,
someone will be here.
Sure,
someone will be here to get it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we are live again here on the Classic Metal Show. We are in the chat room, chatandkill.com, chatandkill.com. I think the Spreaker's working. People complained, we couldn't heard the Spreaker last week, because you don't stream with the Spreaker on your end, right?
I don't stream with it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, yeah, you didn't. If you were trying to listen via the Spreaker last week while Chris was doing the show, no, you weren't going to get it, but we're back to normal here. So it should be on the Spreaker.
Yeah.
And we're in the chat room, Chat and Kill, and Mark Slaughter is coming up, talk about his solo release.
Yeah, something about the rear view mirror.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember what it's called. It's something about the rear. It's actually good though.
Yeah. And then the rest of the show will be us. I got some stories to tell from last week.
Yeah, I sent you some audio. Did you get that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh boy.
I did. And actually, our good friend Rich DeLeese has sent over a few things.
Okay, good.
And then I see the Jackal. Jackal, I am going to make a concerted effort this week to actually do some Indian Tales this week. We'll get started on that early. We won't wait till the last minute.
All right, good.
And then all the uproar going on in our world of social commentary and the ridiculousness going on, and we're in trouble, dude.
We're fucked.
We are in big trouble.
I hope you've cleaned your gun recently.
Yeah.
That's what I say to everybody. Get your cleaning kit out and get them nice and ready to shoot.
Yeah.
Because the time's coming.
Yeah, well, the thing is right around the corner from me, literally, I can look out my back window and I can see it from here.
Yeah.
There's a gun range over here.
Okay.
So I'm going to start making my trips over to the gun range and start doing some shooting.
Yeah. Have you seen these stories now with the, and I won't get into it fully right now, but where the fucking government said this week, after that shooting this week, that they're not going to let these fucking soldiers be armed?
Yeah, that'll stop everything, right?
Well, no, they're not. They're already not armed, and they're just going to let them keep being unarmed.
Yeah.
They're fucking sitting ducks.
Well, the and we'll get into this too, I'm sure, but the strange dichotomy of this whole thing is this Muslim guy, shooting up military guys and killing 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah,
lone wolf.
Yeah, lone wolf, not a fucking terrorist.
Not a terrorist, but yet the kid who shot up at the church,
terrorist.
White supremacist, represents all whites.
Right, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. Same crime.
Yep.
Same crime, but it was lone wolf. Where this other kid, he represents all whites who salute the Confederate flag.
I know. Well, I know with the recruiting stations, there's a movement out there right now for former soldiers to get out there with their guns and protect these guys.
Yeah, like almost kind of like for hire.
Yeah, but just do it. Just go out and do it. And I'm thinking I'm going to get involved in this shit. I really think I'm gonna get out there with my fucking pistol or the assault rifle.
Sure.
Either one, and fucking stand a little guard, man.
Well, it's like the guys down there at the border who, they're not official government members.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of out there, kind of like merchant marines or merchant cops or whatever you want to call them,
Well, dude, it's at the point now where I have no problem taking out a motherfucker. I really don't have a problem taking somebody out. And you know what? I'm going to definitely protect those that are doing the same job that I once stood for and still stand for. I still stand for what they stand for. And if if the government's not going to fucking protect them, then the rest of us should. It's just that fucking simple. And
Right.
I don't give a fuck what that means. If I get arrested, I get arrested. Who gives a fuck?
Some civilian action.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm legal to carry. So why can't I stand outside with a concealed carry?
Well, if you're a Black Panther, why can't you stand outside of a voting place, a polling place,
Well,
and look intimidating? And
there's that too. But I'm talking about these guys are active targets right now that are being gunned down.
I understand. I was just making a comparison.
I know. It's fucking infuriating, man, that this fucking cocksucking president, and more to the point, these fucking generals are, these generals should give a shit about their fucking people. And they don't. And it's really fucking not the military that I was in. Because, I've told the story before. I used to protect a general. And I know if in that day, what was it? That was in the 80s. So if that would have been Reagan or Bush that would have said, don't protect the troops, the general I worked for would have been like, fuck you, and he would have taken his shot at getting court-martialed, and thrown out of the military before he would have let his troops be fucking unarmed and sitting ducks.
Right.
These guys are fucking cowards. And it starts from the top. This fucking cocksucker in chief on down, man.
Sure.
Fucking disgusting.
I agree. Well, last week I was on guard duty guarding General Dokken. Like I said, I got some good stories from last week.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just too funny.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, Mark Slaughter is coming up here. He's got a new release. We'll talk to him about that. And you join us in the chat room. chatandkill.com. All the streams should be working. The studio phone line is working. Everything is working. Isn't it funny that, I've just read some of the comments through the evening so far in the chat room.
Yeah.
That anytime one of the amenities that everybody's used to for some reason is missing or not working.
Yeah.
It's like, the fucking phones won't work. The fucking streams won't work. The streams cut out. The show wasn't very good. It was not this. And, the chat room sucks and this is not good. And
right.
So,
sorry, our free service isn't good enough. Yes.
That's the whole point. This all blows. I tried to listen on my phone and it wouldn't work last week.
And this free shit didn't work, man.
Yeah, I tried to call in and the phone wasn't working.
Well, I will say the phone was working. I just didn't answer.
Yeah, I understand. I get it. I know how it is at your place and how, you got to try to entertain two guests live in your setup over there and you're trying to turn away. And I get all that.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, it's just better this way.
It is better this way. I'm the first one. I always say that when I lead, the show sucks. I always say that. I'm not good at leading. I'm just not good at it. And I know that.
That's okay. We're back to normal.
Yeah, well, that's good because thank God, because then I don't have to fucking think so hard.
Sure.
I can just drink some beer and be happy.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Join us in the chat room. We're going to have a good show. I have a feeling.
I think so.
And I'm ready to do this. So let's get into some Mark Slaughter here. Mark Slaughter has a new release, and we'll find out what Mark's got to say. So join us in the chat. Let's hang out. Let's have a hang, kids.
Yeah, friends.
Yes, for free.
Yeah, free.
Free. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, son.
Right. All right. Well, here's Mark Slaughter exclusively here
on your classic metal show.